I don't know if it's weird. Is it weird to like your own intro music? Because every time I hear it, I know that I get to spend time with all of you. So I get all excited every time I hear it. How we doing, everybody? I'm here tonight with one of my favorite people. This is Mr. Will Dodson. Will is an incredibly bright person and would love to hear all kinds of educational type questions in the chat tonight. And let's dive in because Stan Geezy's already here. Stan, Will's friend.
Hey,
Josephine, my first day assistant teaching at the library went well. Very nice. Origami. Sean is watching Deep Cover tonight. One of my favorites. Deep Cover is fantastic. Hey, Will, how you been lately?
Oh, good. It's been a busy few weeks. My residential college program here at UNC Greensboro just did their annual haunted house after 2 years of being on hiatus. And it was great. We had about 200 people come through. We turned a whole residence hall into a haunted attraction, and about 60 students act in it, and raise a little money for charity and collect food for an open pantry. But most importantly, jump out from behind dark corners and scream at people.
Nice.
So, go Spartans, yeah.
Very nice. I feel a little allergic to haunts. I'm not sure if you saw on the Discord. Did you hear what happened to me last weekend?
No, I haven't heard. I've been.
My mom and I went to one of the downtown Kansas City haunts, and we went through one, and it was all right. It was a little disorienting more than scary. Very small. Like I had to crawl on hands and knees like 4 times. For somebody that's 6'5", that's not fun. We go through the second one, and it was decent. It was all right. And then we get down to the final little descent, and walking down the last flight of stairs, I watched my mom tumble down, go ass over head, the entire flight of stairs, end at the bottom. And I was like, "Oh, Mom!" I took one step, and the stairs were so slippery, my feet shot out from under me, and I slid the entire way and almost landed on top of her. We are both pretty jacked up. We are covered in bruises. This is my entire arm.
Whoa!
The purple light doesn't show. You can see it's actually purple.
Oh my God!
Yeah, my mom is messed up. We'll say. I've got a straight line bruise right across my butt cheeks, which makes it look like crosshairs. It's kind of gnarly. But it's good because I'm here with all of you tonight, and I'm stoked that we get to see everybody. Mitchell's here. My sister's here. Just got to hear about my butt cheeks. Hello. Stan says, I jump out at people from dark corners all the time. I love that he says that with that avatar.
Yeah.
So, any recent pickups for you?
Yeah, I had a lot come in. There was the Scream Factory sale and the Vinegar Syndrome subscription. I picked up. Well, I'll start with one of them. This is kind of an upgrade for me. I don't do much business with this company, but Best Buy had an exclusive 4K steelbook of what I think is the best superhero movie ever made.
Oh my gosh, come on.
This
will be one of a couple things, and I'm already nervous.
the arguments will begin. This is my favorite. It's a satire of the most toxic of toxic men, Lexi Alexander's Punisher Warzone.
I saw that coming.
Yeah, I love this movie. I love it. She's a great director. She takes no shit from anybody, which has hurt her career quite a bit. But I think this is a great movie.
I love those Lionsgate steels that they give us the plastic case around it, and on top of that, they are fairly cheap. When they come out, they're like $20 or less every single time.
That's what did it for me.
Stan just got Texas Chainsaw 2 from Vinegar.
Oh yeah.
That's such a nice set.
Yeah, very excited about that, and I hope it's a sign of more Hooper to come from various places. We've still got a lot of unrestored Hooper titles. So. How about you?
What is the one that you're looking forward to the most from Hooper that doesn't have a good release yet?
Ooh, Night Terrors, The Apartment Complex, and The Toolbox Murders.
I will say it's been a pretty good Hooper heavy year this year.
It has.
Although most of them have gotten releases previously, but to see Poltergeist come out in such a nice release, Texas Chainsaw Massacre 2, I'm Dangerous Tonight is a decent little release. And then, of course, Funhouse looks better than ever before. Have you seen the 4K of the Funhouse yet?
I did pick it up. I'm excited to watch it again. Gosh, it's been about a year since I've seen the Funhouse, so it's time.
Perfect time then. I've got one I'll show. I normally show these off to patrons first. However, this one just seems too good not to share. Columbia Classics Volume 3. And this thing, these are always amazing. So I'm going to take off the little J card here. Maybe. This glue is really tight this time. There we go. So these releases, first off, Sony, best studio in the business for 4K restorations when it's coming straight from the studio. These releases, though, it is a beautiful set. We got a nice hardcover box in the back that drops the entire box. It is a top loading on the back of the box set. And these things, they are not just, let me see if I can get a good view, not just full of pictures. There's actually quite a bit of decent writing in here. It's not just a waste of space. Sony knows exactly what they're doing. And then I really like the way that they present these. So it opens front loading like that.
Oh, okay, cool.
Now, each of these sides have full slipcover releases for all of the titles. So this has To Sir with Love, From Here to Eternity, and It Happened One Night. That is all on the left side. This is kind of hard to do upside down. Then the other side is The Last Picture Show, Annie, and As Good as It Gets. And these, like I said, all have their own slipcover. Different art on the inside, which is really nice coming from a studio. And then actual disc art. It's not just kind of sopped together and really cheaply done. These are really, really nice.
That is, I did not realize those sets were so nicely put together. I assumed they were going to be like sleeves and scratch up the discs and stuff. Oh, that's great.
No, Sony goes all out on these, and that's one of the reasons why I am so excited for that Sony Pictures Classic box that they have coming out, because they just do this for all of these massive sets, and I'm always impressed because it's a studio. You kind of expect the worst, and to get the best is really shocking.
Yeah. Wow.
Let's see. We were talking about Hooper. John Peters says, I'd like a better version of Salem's Lot with bonuses. I think we all would. We got a question for you from Dude McMahon. Does Will know if any of the footage filmed by Tobe Hooper remains in the dark before he was fired? I just found out he was involved the other day. I never knew.
I tell you who's an expert on that, Mr. Julius Banzon, the proprietor and primary content creator of the Tobe Hooper Appreciation Society website. So you should Google that and look up some stuff on the dark. Stan knows.
Stan says, apparently Hooper claims that there is, and the producer might have admitted that some of his footage made it into the dark. I see some obvious Hooper footage in the film. Very nice.
There you go.
KB, yes, I will absolutely see you Sunday. Stoked on that. Let's see. Josephine says, I know you teach film and not literature, but if you were to teach a book or short story side by side with the film adaptation, which one would you choose?
Oh, I do actually teach literature. Several different courses. In fact, this will be an easy answer for your question, because I teach a course on Frankenstein and Dracula. And we read both novels, both stage play adaptations, and watch about 12 different films of Frankenstein and Dracula lore. So those are two good ones. Um, Now, if I had to pick something, I don't know. There's so many. I'd really like to do Catch 22. This film, Slaughterhouse 5. All those kinds of things. Aha! There you go. Stan got the info from the horse's mouth. Gosh, I'll have to keep thinking. There's so many that I would like to do. I mean, the big ones like Heart of Darkness and stuff. Oh, you know what? I know. Here's my definitive answer. The Most Dangerous Game, paired with Slave Girls from Beyond Infinity, which is my favorite adaptation of that story.
Very nice.
Yeah.
I agree with Stan, who says I would love to take Will's Dracula class.
Oh, it's pretty good.
Do you teach any movies based on short stories or teach any short stories?
Sure. Rashomon, I do quite a bit. It's the first one that comes to mind. Gosh, it's hard. When you're live, it's hard to think of stuff. But yeah, the answer is yes. Rashomon I've done quite a few times. I also do a course on Kurosawa and Shakespeare. So we do Hamlet, Macbeth, and King Lear, and show The Bad Sleep Well, Throne of Blood, and Ron. And that one's pretty. Yeah, sure. Next time, you'll definitely be more interested in it than most of the students are. They always get into Throne of Blood for sure, and Ron.
Of course. So my next big question: what have you been watching lately?
Oh, okay. So streaming, I saw on Shudder, Deadstream.
Everybody's talking about that one.
Yeah, it was pretty good. I was not expecting a lot, but it was very nice. I'm watching a television show called French Village, which ran from I think it ended in 2012, and it's 7 seasons. It's a provincial French village, and it covers from the time the Nazis take over to the end of the war, and it's great. I'm in season 5 right now. And then movies. Well, I just finished teaching my intro to film studies class, and tonight we showed Losing Ground. Kathleen Collins, 1982. This is the first film directed by a Black woman since 1922. A lot of people think it's 1990's Daughters of the Dust by Julie Dash. That's the first film directed by a Black woman that got a theatrical release. This one never got a theatrical, played festivals. Finally, thanks to the efforts of Kathleen Collins' daughter, was released on DVD and Blu-ray in 2015, and it's been a revelation to everybody. It's amazing. Bill Gunn, Dwayne Jones, Night of the Living Dead fame, and Sarah Scott, the great theatrical actress. Losing Ground. That's what I've been watching. What about you?
Well, the other big thing, you've been watching a lot of live music too. Who all have you been seeing in the last 30 to 45 days-ish? Because it seems like you've been seeing everybody.
I have. So I saw Iron Maiden this month, my first Iron Maiden show. It was amazing. Those guys.
As my mom watches this, she'll be jealous as hell.
Oh my gosh, it was. They were great. That is not only my tribe, but I do appreciate Iron Maiden, and they were really, really good. I saw KMFDM this month. I saw Stereo Lab. I went with my wife to see Stereo Lab. That's her favorite band, and it happened to be on our anniversary, so I got to take her to see that. Nice. And probably I'm most excited because just this past Sunday, I got to see a band. There's a group of guys I was friends with back in the day before they hit it big, and I hadn't seen them in about 15 years. They're a horror punk band called Blitzkid, and I knew them way back when, and then they went out and became rock stars, and so I surprised them. They didn't know I was going to be there. So I got to catch up with my buddies, and that's that. And next Sunday, I'm going to see the legendary Pink Dots. So yes, I'm seeing a lot of music lately.
Very nice. Things I've watched recently. I finally got to see Terrifier 2. Went and saw that in the theater, and it was a movie. It it was really well made. I really appreciated all the practical effects. I think it had some of the best animatronics that I've seen in literally years, and especially one of the scenes. I think that it's overlong and a little convoluted, but supposedly some of that was on purpose. He's supposedly planting some seeds for the third one, and it will explain everything. But as a centerpiece in a trilogy, I guess, which sounds like it might end up as a trilogy, it's got some weak points for sure. But I certainly enjoyed it. I'm not saying it's bad at all. It was long, unnecessarily, for sure.
I did just see the first one by way of preparation. It was okay.
What'd you think of that?
I think Art the Clown is a great character.
He really is. I think he is maybe the most definitive horror villain we've had in quite some time.
Yeah, really good. But anyway, I interrupted. Continue.
No, I couldn't even think about stuff I've watched. I was about to reach for my list. I watched Monster House with my kids. That movie holds up like crazy. I love Monster House. Opening my Letterboxd account so I can remember. On Halloween, I watched Trick or Treat. My mom had never seen it, and it was nice to show her that. We also watched Garfield's Halloween Adventure, the 25-minute short from 1985. That holds up like crazy. Some really good comedy in there. Biggest one though over the last couple of weeks that I watched, Thirst, the vampire film from 2009. Have you ever seen Thirst?
The Park Chan-wook?
Yeah.
Yes. But I say it like that because I recall that there was some wine involved. I don't remember.
I mean, it's that type of movie. It is kind of a sexy vampire movie. It kind of, in certain scenes. That movie kind of blew me away. Very, very unique take on a vampire movie. Loved how much they kind of took hold of the religious side of things and tore that apart, and was so realistic about people's takes on religion. They didn't hold back or make anybody seem weak because of it. It was just more of a matter of fact delivery. Really liked it. I think it was kind of a masterpiece and blew my mind a little bit. Rewatched The Babadook for an interview that I'm having this Saturday, and my God, do I love that movie. Yeah. Just incredible. I don't even know what to say. The child actor in that is mind-blowingly good.
Yeah. And he gets that sweet spot of this cute kid that you love who is also so irritating, right? That your patience is beginning to wear down, and as a parent, I think all parents know that point, right? And that movie's really well done. Yeah.
Very much so made me think of my kid while watching it. That's for sure. Yeah. But that's enough about us. How about we get to some of these incredible announcements, because we have a fairly large slate to break into this time.
You always get me on these big weeks, which, hey,
that's why you're here. That's why you're here. First up, we got some announcements from Arrow. We finally got the announcement for the Angela Mao double feature. This had been announced quite some time ago because Eureka put this out in the UK. And what's funny is if you bought the Eureka set and put it into a Region A player, it had the Arrow logos and everything. So it is the exact same disc, just with different disc art.
Well, that's good to hear, because I ordered the Eureka. It hasn't come yet, but then I saw this announcement. I was like, well, so I'm relieved.
It is the exact same thing, all the same features and everything. So a lot of people know about this one already, so we're not going to spend a ton of time on it. But one cool thing is they do have an exclusive original art slipcover that you can get from the Arrow Video site. This one is, and it's fairly cheap for a double feature. It's less than $30, and it's got some really good art on it.
Yeah. Cool.
Loving this. Next up, we get one that a lot of us did not expect, I don't think. And we get a Sunny Chiba set they're calling the Executioner Collection. And this one is coming on January 10th in the UK and the US and Canada. This is a Sunny Chiba set, like I said. It's HD only Blu-ray. We got the original uncompressed audio. We got subtitles, of course. New audio commentary by Pris Pagiali and Mark Walco. A 30-minute featurette on Sunny Chiba featuring Grady Hendrix, Tom Mess, Crick Pagiali, Marco Joaquim, and Seijiano from the band Guitar Wolf. And a couple other small bonus features there. But this one is great because we are getting the Executioner in both its original Japanese language version and the English dub from the 1970s in high def for the first time on home video. If you like Street Fighter, you're probably going to like this one. And this is one that a lot of people are really thankful for because obviously with Sunny passing away pretty recently, this is one of the ways to do it right. How do you feel about Sunny Chiba?
I'm a huge Sunny Chiba fan. Huge Sunny Chiba fan. In fact, I do feel one of the better Tarantino monologues is Christian Slater's enthusiastic discussion in True Romance. And I'm excited too because there's this Shout Factory Chiba set coming out as well. So this is a nice opportunity for people who both fans of Chiba and people who are new to Chiba's work to see a lot of the really good stuff. I love a lot of his. I mean, he had a great diversity of films. You know, wuxia, you know, Street Fighter, modern day kind of gritty action movies, and the Executioner I've not actually seen before, so I'm really excited to see this.
Nice. That's pretty rare for Will, so that's always a good thing. Next up, one that took a lot of people by storm. This is coming on January 31st in the UK and the US and Canada. This is the Lucas Moodison collection, and it's got Fucking 'Em All, which is also called Show Me Love, Together, Lilia Forever, A Hole in My Heart, Container, Mammoth, and We Are the Best. This has all kinds of special features in here. This is one of those sets where when I post it on here for the announcements, I couldn't even put everything in the Instagram post because they are so limited on characters. This is just one that seems like a must grab immediately. Have you seen anything from this filmmaker?
No, he's a filmmaker who's kind of been a blind spot for me. I've read reviews and appreciations here and there, but I have not just had time to do a lot of modern Scandinavian cinema in general, movies here. Yeah. So this will be an educational opportunity for me.
As far as I read, this seems to be, and I think it's written in here, or maybe not. This has basically everything that he's done, I believe. Yeah. So this is on par with like a Severin style box set of if you buy one thing, you have everything from somebody. And that's the kind of thing I truly immediately get excited about because this is one of those things that is like film school in a box. If you can dive into one person's filmography with one purchase, that seems to be the type of thing that I immediately am going to go and put on my want to pre-order list the day it gets announced. Next up, the Dunwich Horror, coming January 10th in the UK and the US. This gets a new 2K restoration from the OCN, which is nice. Of course, this is the Dean Stockwell film. And this has new commentary by Guy Adams and Alexandra Benedict, creators of the audio drama Arkham County. There's a new conversation between Stephen R. Bissett and horror author Stephen Laws, in which they discuss the Dunwich Horror, Lovecraft, and their memories of seeing the film on release. There's a new interview with science fiction and fantasy writer Ruthanna Emmers, author of the Innsmouth Legacy series. And then a new interview with music historian David Huckvale, in which he takes a closer look at Les Baxter's score for the Dunwich Horror. I mean, this is much better than I expected for a film like this.
Yeah, I've always enjoyed it. I have There was a Midnight Movies DVD release that's out of print, and I have a copy of that. It's not a great transfer, but I've always been really fond of this movie, so it'll be great to see and all these extras, because I don't know a whole lot about the production of it. So very exciting announcement.
Yeah, more Lovecraft is always a good thing, and this cover art is really nice in my opinion. Nothing too over the top, nothing too busy, just enough to be striking and make me want it. That was it from Arrow. Real quick, we got an announcement of a 4K Steelbook coming for Groundhog Day on January 10th. This is a Paramount-wide Steelbook release, so it'll be available everywhere: Amazon, Best Buy, Walmart, Target, pretty much everything. And nothing new on the disc. It's just put in a Steelbook for everybody, and this is the Steelbook art. All right, then we got some 88 Films releases. The Hell of the Living Dead is coming on 4K on January 23rd in the UK. This is the 1980 film, Italian zombie films. Can't really go wrong there. I knew you were going to react that way.
Bruno Mattei. Well, hey, I've got the Blue Underground release of this on a double feature with Rats: Night of Terror, and it is a, Mattei is an acquired taste, and I recognize the irony of me as a rabid Jess Franco fan. To be like, Bruno Mattei can be a little tough to watch sometimes, but I do like this movie. It's fun.
Oh, Jess Franco, the bane of my existence. We are also getting one that I think is a much better film, House on the Edge of the Park, coming on 4K from 88 Films. This is coming on January 23rd. This is the Diodato film, of course. We don't have any more details, but a couple of the contributors to this did confirm there are a lot of new extras coming on this one, and I can't wait to see what all they are doing.
We don't get enough appreciation for Annie Bell, who was in several Italian exploitation movies around this time, most notably Lara. House on the Edge of the Park. She is so interesting looking and cool in her performance, and I don't know why there's not more of a. I mean there is a cult following for her, but I think it should be larger.
It should just be a following.
I want to connect with other Annie Bell fans. I think she's great.
Everybody ring that bell. We are also getting a Pete Walker Heritage Collection in the UK from 88 Films. This is coming on February 20th, and we'll have The Big Switch, For Men Only, Man of Violence, Home Before Midnight, School for Sex, and Cool It Carol. Pete Walker has been kind of difficult to get in the UK, as far as I've been told. Same with like Jean Roland and a lot of the titles that Redemption put out in the US for both of those people. So this is kind of cool that it's coming out in the UK, because not one that was easy to see for a long time. Yeah, what's your history with Pete Walker?
Oh man, I like Pete Walker. I'm so glad Kino's got those two sets of his stuff, and I like to show in one of my classes scenes from what's that nun movie he did. What's it called? Not House of Whipcord. Is it House of Whipcord? It is House of Whipcord. I like to show scenes from House of Whipcord. And big fan of the Flesh and Blood show as well. So I haven't seen any of these. I've seen the titles, and a lot of them hadn't been on Blu-ray before. So this is
right.
Dope.
Hopefully they are uncut. And let's see. I don't think they actually said if it was or not. Walker's finest non-horror movies are brought together for this spectacular new box set, starring a host of famous faces with Robin Asquith, Francois Pascal, James Aubrey, David Kernan, and Luan Peter. The Pete Walker Heritage Collection has all those movies presented here in brand new HD restorations featuring an arresting array of exclusive extras, including brand new interviews with Pete Walker himself.
Oh, great.
88 Films is not done, though, announcing a pretty big name title that I believe they hinted at last year, and I'm just glad to have it confirmed here. March 27th from 88, we are getting The Whip and the Body from 1963, done by somebody you might have heard of, Mario Bava. This is, let's see, it says Seduction, Sadism, and Sexual Obsession. The Whip and the Body is one of the greatest films of legendary director Mario Bava. The equally legendary Christopher Lee himself plays Kurt Menliff. He's the black sheep of his family, banished for his wicked, wicked ways. But now he's home and keen to resume his sadomasochistic affair with his brother's wife, Nevenka. So keen, in fact, that not even his untimely death cannot put a stop to his violent lust. A delirious journey into troubled souls, this is arguably the greatest film Bava ever made, and now it's looking better than ever, gorgeously restored for newly discovered film elements. 88 Films is proud to present Bava's masterpiece, finally resplendent in all its gothic splendor.
That's great. I loved Whip and the Body. There's a film scholar, Ian Olney. He contributed to the Toby Hooper book, and is one of the editors of the films of Jess Franco. But anyway, he wrote a book called Euro Horror, and he has a great analysis of The Whip and the Body in there. Great book.
Nice.
Yeah, and yeah, this description is over the top, but absolutely accurate.
Got to sell the movie somehow. They also are announcing Tentacles from 1977. This was recently released by Kino, and sadly, the Kino disc was either empty of features or barely had anything. And they did confirm this is going to be full of brand new created special features. So if you have not picked up that Kino yet, this might be the time if you were still keen on this title. And this is the one, it's got Henry Fonda, Shelley Winters, Claude Akins, and Bo Hopkins.
Wow.
Have you seen Tentacles before?
No, I don't know how I missed it. One of those Italian like Jaws ripoffs. What a cast! They must have all been drunk the whole time.
Of course, 77.
Okay, Ovidio G. Astonitis. What did he do?
Couch says, I have the Kino release, and it is fun. What's going on, Ruben Villa or Villa? That could be either way.
Wow, well, this looks cool. I cannot wait to be disappointed by it.
If that doesn't sum up all of our purchases, I don't know what does.
I think whenever you watch one of these Italian Jaws knockoffs, it's always like really cool but disappointing, but disappointing in a fun way.
Speaking of disappointing, we are getting 1984's Ark of the Sun God on 4K from 88 Films. Who needs Indiana Jones when you've got Rick Spear? Rick's a master cracksman, the best damn thief in the business, and he's been hired to find the fabled burial chamber of King Gilgamesh and retrieve the valuables within. This one has Antonio Margheriti, the highlight from Italian genre favorite Antonio Margheriti, with the characteristically charming performance from David Warbeck as the dashing Rick. Ark of the Sun God tips its fedora at Raiders of the Lost Ark, but adds its own wild invention into the mix. I have never seen this one, and I am very eager to see it.
Well, David Warbeck sounds like a good Indiana Jones stand-in to me. And Antonio Margheriti, he's a great filmmaker. Cannibal Apocalypse. He did You're the Hunter from the Future with Reb Brown. I can't wait for this one. Cool.
And it's coming in 4K.
Yeah.
That's a big deal. 88 Films seems to be diving right into 4K. Then they announced God of Gamblers coming on March 20th. This is one of their Asian releases. It says Ko Chun is the greatest high roller in the world, king of the casino, and as cool as only an in his prime Chow Yun Fat can be. but that's before a nasty head injury renders him mentally disabled. After being befriended by unscrupulous hustler Knife, it is discovered that despite his other impairments, Ko's unerring instincts for gambling remain intact, because of course. Knife thinks he's on to a sure thing, but Ko still has enemies, and they haven't forgotten him. A huge hit on its original release and one of the defining films of Chow Yun-Fat's astonishing career, the Card Sharks at 88 Films are proud to roll the dice on a gloriously restored version of this Hong Kong classic.
Yeah.
Ruben says Asian cinephiles have been waiting for this release, and I agree. This is one I've heard lobbed about for years, waiting for it to come out.
Well, he did The Iceman Cometh with it, which I think just came out. Didn't Vinegar Syndrome just put that out?
Vinegar Syndrome and 88 Films is about to release it as well.
Oh, okay. Yeah, that's Wong Jing. He did The Iceman Cometh, and Iceman Cometh is the only film I think I've seen by him. So this is cool.
Our very own Ice in the chat says this is the first in a trilogy. Wonder if they will release the others.
Oh.
And it doesn't say they're not. They very well could. Time will tell. I think that is... No, wait. One more from 88 Films. March 6th, they are putting out Detox, also known as ICU. After his girlfriend is killed by the serial killer he's chasing, FBI agent Jake Malloy falls apart, and the rest is history. This is the Stallone movie that everybody looks at as maybe Stallone's worst film ever, and that's including the fact that he made Stop or My Mom Will Shoot.
Don't forget Oscar.
Touche.
But I'm like so anti John Landis, so I might be biased. But I remember seeing Detox in the video store I worked in on occasion, but I never actually had to put the video back because I don't remember anybody ever renting it. So I would just like see the box as I was putting back other videos. That's all I know about this movie. Jim Gillespie, though, he made a couple decent films.
Yeah. Let's see. It's a psychological horror movie with simmering tension, courtesy of Jim Gillespie and solid support from Chris Christopherson, Robert Patrick, and Jeffrey Wright.
That's a good cast. Might have to check it out.
It's too bad it's not worse or better.
Hey, speaking of things that you might not like, let's go to the next one.
All right, you got it. Jess Franco's Sex is Crazy is coming from Severn Films this Black Friday. This is from 1981. Will, what can you tell us about Sex is Crazy?
So I've got a really crappy DVD of this, and I can't wait to see what it actually looks like. Because the DVD I have, like the picture is kind of compressed and everything. So from what I can tell, based on the copy I have, the sex is in fact crazy. But perhaps
I love
not,
that you already answered the only question I was going to ask you about it.
But perhaps not crazy in the way that Franco intended. So I'm super excited to see this restored, because this comes from a period where he was really getting weird, and was actually shooting in Spain finally after the fall of Francisco Franco, and as all the Stephen Thrower documentaries tell us, the architecture that he was finding, the structures, the buildings, the hotels and manors and just all kinds of architecture that he was kind of obsessed with in that period. Really interesting looking stuff. So this is a kind of a gap in that early 80s Franco period. So I don't know if I was making sense. I'm just excited about it.
You're good. On the disc, we are getting an interview with Jess Franco expert Dr. Alex Mendable, interview with Stephen Thrower, author of Flowers of Perversion, of course, and then we're getting part 7 of In the Land of Franco, which is really cool that they're still continuing that. I did not expect that to continue. Stan wants to know, is it crazier than Short Bus?
Oh, yeah.
It's Franco. It's a fever dream, I'm sure.
No disrespect to Short Bus, but that's there's like a story there, I think.
Well, I think it's time for Will to start gushing.
Gross.
Let's go over this beauty.
Yeah.
Radiance Films has finally announced some of their second wave of titles. Coming on May 1st, we are getting, and this is, by the way, coming in the UK, the US, and Canada, Franco Nero's Three Mafia Tales by Damiano Damiani. This is from 68, 71, and 75 all together. Will, why don't you give us the whole pitch on this and why everybody should be buying it?
Oh my gosh. So the last time, I think it was the last time I was on, was when the Arrow Gothic Tales box set was announced, and it had Damiani's The Witch. So anybody who saw that knows that I'm a big Damiano Damiani fan. Just as a recap, if you're not familiar with him, he's made a ton of great films about the Italian Mafia, the Mafia, but the Mafia in Italy. Both early in the 20th century and in more modern times. Blue Underground puts out a DVD of How to Kill a Judge, so it's great that that's going to be restored and upgraded. His Western set during the Mexican Revolution, which Blue Underground has a Blu-ray of, A Bullet for the General, is great. My favorite film by him is La Moglie Più Bella, The Most Beautiful Wife, with Ornetta Muti, and Twilight Time put that out. But here's why I'm really excited, because two of the films, The Day of the Owl has only been released as Mafia on a double feature put out by Wild East, which I don't think they're in existence anymore. But it's a double feature with I Am the Law, which is not on here, which is too bad. But anyway, what am I trying to say? These films are great. Day of the Owl is a wonderful novel by Leonardo Sciascia about Sicily, right? The Sicilian mafia. It's a fantastic short novel. Damiano's adaptation of it is compelling. And you know, Franco Nero, come on. Some of the most piercing eyes in the history of cinema. This guy is so compelling on the screen. I have not seen The Case is Closed. Forget it. So this is really exciting for me. But I can vouch for How to Kill a Judge and Day of the Owl, both fantastic movies. Everybody should see more Damiano Damiani. How's that?
That was great. Then the details of this box set. 2K restorations for all three films, a limited edition 80-page book featuring writing on the film by experts on the genre, including Andrew Nett, Paul A.J. Lewis, Nathaniel Thompson, and more. This is going to be limited to only 3,000 copies, presented in a box, and they still will have that removable OBI strip on there. And this is going to have new interviews with Franco Nero, archival interviews with Franco Nero, with the writer and the production manager. There's an archival interview with Claudia Cardinal. There is Mike Malloy discussing the context of the formation of the Italian crime film genre, which that alone right there sounds like a fascinating featurette to dive into. Howard Berger on the Italian career of actor Lee J. Cobb. And that's just on the first disc. On the second one, we've got another new interview with Franco Nero, some archival documentary on the making of the film, a video essay on the career of Damiano Damiani by Rachel Nisbet. And then the last one, another new interview with Franco Nero, new interview with Alberto Pizzotta, who's an author, and then new video essay by David Carnes. I mean, this kind of just screams buy me now, in my opinion.
Yeah, it kind of does.
Radiance is continuing to kill it, in my opinion. They are doing some really good stuff, but we also got some details on some of their previously announced things. So this is The Man on the Roof. This one is coming on March 6th. We did not have a specific date for this one yet. Now we do. And on this one, we're getting an introduction by Bo Weiderberg, scene select audio commentary by critic and genre expert Peter Gilmstad. a documentary by Marcus Stormquist on the making of The Man on the Roof. This one is from 2004, and it's 82 minutes long. There is an intimate portrait of the filmmaker in which Weiderberg discusses his films and his approach to filmmaking. There is an interview on here, the original trailer, and then the sleeve is going to be reversible. Again, these releases just look fantastic. There's also a booklet with contributions from Weiderberg, biographer and critic Martin Blomqvist, archival writing by Weiderberg, Anders Marklund on genre filmmaking in Sweden, and some more. There's even contemporary reviews and film credits, which I love that they're including stuff like that.
Yeah. I've wanted to see this movie for a long time.
Yeah, and it's supposed to be amazing from everything I've heard. But the contemporary reviews and, gosh, I think it was Vinegar Syndrome, and a couple of their releases had some art from around the time when it was posted in newspapers and stuff. That type of thing is always exciting to me because, again, we are archiving the film and all of that, but a lot of these had press, had art, had writing on the film, and all of that deserves to be archived as well. So as much as we can get and preserve it and keep it, in the ether, it is always a good thing for me. Next up, Fill Her Up with Super. This one is coming on March 6th as well. 2K restoration of the film from the original negative. This gets 3 interview short films with the cast directed by Cavalier. My Wife Lives in Fear with Etienne Chicot. It's Full with Bernard Crombie. And The King of Baby Bottles with Patrick Bouchette. Friends First and Foremost, an interview with Bernard Crombie. In this video interview, the star discusses his work on the film, his collaborators, and his career. Almost a half hour long. And then we got a brand new appreciation of Fill Her Up with Super by, I'm not going to be able to say that name, Cahiers du Cinema, Deputy Editor Charlotte Garçon, and new subtitles, plus a reversible sleeve, as we can be expecting with all of these, it seems like. Cool. Just another loaded to the gills film.
Yeah, this is another one I've read about but never seen.
And when I talked to Fran, this is one that he was very excited about because it's just kind of one of those vibe films, which I tend to really like. They also released the special features for Walking the Edge. As far as I can tell, there is nothing new that was not on the Vinegar Syndrome OCN release, so that is a good thing. However, they did release some information on some new bundles. There are 2 new bundle options available from Radiance. One that covers all releases from June through December of 2023. You can get that for £350. And one that covers just the UK unique titles from June through December for £170. So if you are either a US bundle holder already, or you are going to buy the US bundle from MVD, now you can also buy a bundle of just the UK unique titles, which is a really cool way to do it. They're kind of giving everybody their option to be able to get everything that they could want from the label. And I mean, their titles just kind of seem perfect at this point. So I can understand the people that were really quick to jump on it. And you're in good company. I mean, even Sean Baker signed up for that big subscription himself.
Might be a little too much for me, but it's tempting.
Will wants it. Moving on from there, let's talk about some of the more exciting stuff going on right now. Mondo Macabre still has up for pre-order their current titles. They are running their Halloween sale right this moment. And this is the release details for Dr. Caligari on 4K. Here is the art on this one. And this one, we are getting a 4K presentation of a brand new restoration from the OCN with 2 aspect ratio choices. You get the theatrical version with isolated music and effects track. Disc 2 features a Blu-ray with the 1080p presentation of that restoration. And then we get an audio commentary with Steven Sayadian, interview with Steven Sayadian, interview with Madeleine Reynal, interview with Laura Albert, interview with Jerry Stahl, and then limited edition features. You got Going on a Radiation Vacation. This is a booklet by Sayadian biographer Heather Drain, exclusive slipcover, and that is limited to 2,000 numbered copies.
Great. Yeah, I ordered my bundle. The sale started, so I'm definitely getting this one. Been looking forward to it for a while.
Yeah, this is one, as soon as it was announced, I was very excited for it. And It seems to me that they put pretty much everything that they could into it. But we got some other stuff to talk about in their bundle, and the next one is the Bollywood Horror Box Set. Now, before I go into this, as I talk about this, please, if you have not, consider purchasing this box set. This is supposedly not doing real well for them. And if you are interested, if you are interested in anything Bollywood, if you enjoyed RRR, if you are okay with the musical interludes in the middle of some of these films, they are absolutely worth it. I mean, I've got, they're just out of reach, or I'd show them some of the old Bollywood stuff that they put out on DVD. And I could tell you these are absolutely worth it. And this box set is massive. I mean, first of all, look how incredible these look on all of the covers. This is, I believe, the cover of the booklet, not of the box set itself. But we've got 6 different discs on here. We got on disc 1, we've got Atma from 2006, disc 2, Purana Mandir from 1984, disc 3, Purani Haveli from 1989, disc 4, Takana from 1986, disc 5, Virana from 1988, and then disc 6, Band Darwaza from 1990. Unfortunately, the film elements of Band Darwaza were no longer usable due to damage and storage problems. The film is presented here in an SD source, so it's not HD, but the other 5 are. In this, we got interviews like crazy with filmmakers, film historians, archivists, actors. We've got, interviews produced by Sandesh Shenoy and Bollywood Crypt, Mondo Macabre episode on Indian horror, and they are still doing more stuff for this that they haven't announced. It's crazy. But then also an 80-page book on the history of Indian horror by Monsters, Tim Paxton, and featuring new cover art by Jolion Yates, lobby cards, 3,000 copies housed in an exclusive to-be-revealed hard box. And I spoke to Jared from Mondo Macabre since the sale went live and said, he said to me that this is the one that is underselling their expectations. And I can't believe that.
Yeah,
I think one of the reasons is the price is a little scary to people, but a couple things. So this is the first Mondo Macabre box set ever, which for a label that's been around as long as they have, that alone is kind of surprising. The second thing, it is 6 discs. They are not holding out on this thing. And if you noticed, all of the films are on their own discs so that they can all get special features. This is not going to be a light box. This is going to be something that you are going to get tons and tons of time with. Mondo puts so much love and attention into their releases. This is one that if you are looking to get into any sort of genre from elsewhere, this is kind of a must-buy in my opinion. How much Bollywood do you have experience with?
Well, a lot of Bollywood genre films that I have experience with is due to Mondo Macabre.
Yeah.
Or a favorite of my cult film students. This box set is actually the thing that most attracted me to the bundle.
Same.
This time. I don't do a whole lot of the more mainstream Bollywood stuff. I did see RRR. I succumbed to the hype, and it was enjoyable. And I watch some films here and there of like the mainstream Bollywood stuff. But the stuff I like the most is this weird crap that Mondo puts out. So I'm surprised to hear more people aren't. Well, and just because of the fact that so many of the so many of Mondo's DVD releases have been Bollywood horror and stuff like that, I would have assumed this would be super exciting to me. I don't know.
And those DVDs have been out of print for quite some time too. So yeah, I really thought this one was going to fly off the shelves. However, he did say that some of the other ones have been wildly successful. One that we're going to talk about in just a moment has been way more successful than expected, and that is this one.
Huh.
From 1973, The Witch's Mountain. For complicated reasons fully explored in the extras on this disc, the film was banned in Spain. This led to a kind of urban legend that it was a violent and misogynistic film full of scenes of sex and depravity. In fact, The Witch's Mountain is one of the most unique films of the 70s Spanish horror boom. It is atmospheric, mystical, and elusive. And this one sounds great, first of all. The synopsis here sounds good. It's region-free. There's a new HD transfer from the best available film elements. You got a new interview with actor John Gaffari, an archival interview with John Gaffari. There's an archival documentary about the making of the film, and then a new video commentary, and then a video essay about Patty Shepard by Chris O'Neill. Plus, if you buy the red case, which may be sold out now, that one has a booklet on the film and its director by Ishmael Fernandez with brand new art by Justin Coffey. This one has only 1,500 copies, which is one of the reasons why it has sold so well, I'm sure.
Yeah. And this is the one I know nothing about. So I was like, okay, well, I'll get in the bundle.
Yeah, this one looks really good, and it's done very well for them. So happy for them. Let's see. I wanted to highlight what Ragnar said. They are very well-made horror films. They just have a 5-minute musical in the middle of every single one of them. But other than that, they're awesome. And if you're okay with the musical aspect, the whole thing's awesome. So yeah, these are great. Ragnar says it's like $120 Vinegar Syndrome charges you $40 for one. Come on, you can do it. Let's see. Ruben says, is this the one with the rock? This is not Escape from Witch Mountain. This is kind of exciting. Malambra Films, which you may remember as the company, I believe they're out of Italy, if I remember right. They might be out of the UK. That started up with a Kickstarter for the Sex of Angels fairly recently. They have just announced that The Road to Fort Alamo by Mario Bava is going to be their second film release. This one is coming soon. We don't have any other details on it. However, I love that the art is so close to the Sex of Angels art. It looks like they're going to be keeping, possibly, as long as they keep this going, a similar aesthetic throughout their releases, which would be really neat and something that a lot of boutiques actually can do very well with, especially if the art is this good.
Yeah, that looks great.
You're pretty well into Bava, right? Have you seen The Road to Fort Alamo?
I've not, and I am very into Bava, and very into Wes. This is one that I've been excited about, and I actually did not know about this announcement. So
nice,
great. Yeah.
And I do got to say, this guy in the bottom right with the gun, holy hell, is he ripped? Let's see. Ragnar says, my only disappointment with the Bollywood box is I wish it came with the red cases. I get that. However, they are, if I remember right, I think you had to buy a whole bunch ahead of time, and they would lose a lot if they were using 6 of them per box. Coming soon from Kino Lorber, The Secret of the Incas from 1954. This is getting a new HD master from a 4K scan of the 35mm YCM 3-strip Technicolor elements. I believe this will be the same restoration as was on the imprint release of this. I think that was earlier this year. They put out so many damn titles. I'm sure it was earlier this year because I don't think it was last year. And it looked pretty damn good. So yeah, this is one I can certainly recommend. I won't be picking this release up. I've got the imprint release, but nice to see that it's coming to the US for everybody else that may want a copy.
Yeah, Charlton Heston doing the Indiana Jones.
In Technicolor even.
Yeah.
Next up from Kino, we're getting The Crimson Rivers from 2000 with Jean Reno and Vincent Cassel. Or Cassell. I always say that wrong the first time. I don't know why. This one I have never seen, but it sounded pretty damn awesome. Have you seen The Crimson Rivers?
No, but Mateo Kasovitz did what? La Haine, right?
Yeah.
So that's cool. I think that's the only film I've seen by him. So I would definitely be interested in seeing Crimson Rivers.
Very nice. Very nice. Coming soon, I got a little bit of a scoop before this was announced widely. There is a new UK boutique label coming out called Treasured Films. A little hard to find on the web right now because that title is a little ambiguous while Googling. They are putting out The Last Hunter from 1980. I believe this will be their first title. And this film, for those that don't know, during the Vietnam War, an American soldier gets trapped behind enemy lines. A squad of his buddies set out to rescue him. This is going to have an interview with the composer Franco Michelizi, interview with the AD Eduardo Margheriti, an interview with actress Margie Newton, interview with the stuntman Massimo Vanni, which I love when we get stuff like that. An interview with the stuntman, he's got to have some great stories. We got a video essay on the film by Eugenio Ercolani, an audio commentary with Eugenio Ercolani, Troy Howarth, and Nathaniel Thompson all together, and then a booklet which includes a whole array of essays and interviews. There's going to be a poster and a photo gallery. And then The Outsider is going to be on this, a very special 1-hour documentary on the career of Antonio Margheriti.
All right.
This is a hell of a first release.
I was just singing Antonio's praises a few minutes ago, so this is great. So we get Ark of the Sun God and The Last Hunter.
Unfortunately, no release date for this yet, but hopefully something great comes out soon.
Yeah.
Not really an announcement. However, I moved my merch store. If you are interested in buying a shirt or anything like that, you know what? Perfect time. I'm going to share. These are super high quality. I've got some of the stickers ready to go. I've got a couple versions of it that I usually send one to my winning patron every single month when they get pulled for the raffle. I even got my kid a new shirt. And then I got for myself this really nice blue shirt. Or wait, no, I think this is the one I got for my wife. And says, it's time for some real talk. Actually, pretty high quality. Anyways, let's get back to the good stuff. Just throwing it out there. If you're interested, links in the description below. Another Severin announcement. I miss you, hugs and kisses. Somehow, this was on the Video Nasty list, and now we are getting this on Black Friday. This will also include recommendations for Mercy from 1975. This is from Murray Markowitz, comes the shocking drama inspired by one of Canada's most infamous homicides. When a former model is brutally murdered, her wealthy husband is arrested for the slaying, but the trial that follows will uncover a lurid saga of illicit lovers, escaped serial killers, a scorching performance by Summer, and enough graphic mayhem to merit its condemnation as a video nasty. Chuck Shimada and 5-time Canadian heavyweight champion George Chuvalo co-star in this 1978 Canucksploitation rarity, also known as Left 4 Dead and Drop Dead Dearest, featuring the debut score by 3-time Oscar winner Howard Shore, who did The Lord of the Rings, now scanned in 2K from the National Archives' only known 35mm print.
It's surprising that Severin decided to highlight Shore's score for Lord of the Rings rather than all of the scores he did for David Cronenberg, given that this is a Canucksploitation movie. But that's a minor quibble. Yeah. I'm very interested in hearing Howard Shore's first score. I love his stuff. Especially the Cronenberg films, but also the collaboration.
I think they did that for the Oscar side of things.
Yeah. This looks cool. I've never seen this. Pretty excited. Ooh, 2 commentaries. Cool.
Yeah, we got a commentary for each film. We got an interview with Murray Markowitz, interview with Donald Pilon, film programmer Eric Peretti on the Demeter case, and I Miss You, Hugs and Kisses. Then on the second one, recommendation for Mercy, there's also an alternate commentary with film writer Kirla Janice in conversation with director Murray Markowitz, an interview with actress Michelle Fansett, and then the original Canadian release ending. This, to me, especially if you're trying to beef up your Video Nasty collection, just like David from Severin Films, you're pretty much going to have to pick this one up, and it sounds pretty damn good. And not to mention, I love the artwork on this.
Yeah, it looks really good.
Even this is appealing for a couple of reasons. We'll go to the next one. Kino Lorber announced on January 17th they are putting out Program to Kill from 1987. This gets a new audio commentary by the director Alan Holzman, moderated by Douglas Hosdale. There's a new interview with screenwriter Robert Short, an alternate opening title credit, and reversible art, which they don't always get rights to, so I'm glad they are getting it on this one.
Love Sandahl Bergman. Great. I remember seeing this on, gosh, I don't know if it was Up All Night or
that sounds right.
Or Cinemax or something like that when I was a kid, and it's fun.
Somebody, Couch posted here, Severn posted an interesting update. We're going to talk about that as long as it's the same update that I'm thinking of, unless there was something since then. I'll look at that in just a moment. But Mondo Macabre, that sale is live, still is live. Go ahead and spend your hard-earned money. Then we got some Shout Factory announcements, which is a really interesting month for them. I am kind of surprised and also not surprised, but we're going to talk about it. January 24th, they're putting out the Jackie Chan Collection Volume 1 from 1976 to 1982. We don't have any special features listed for this yet, so it could have everything from the 88 films releases. It could have nothing. It could have more. It could have less. Rights with special features are kind of finicky sometimes, so we shall see. But the films on here, we get The Killer Meteors, Shaolin Wooden Men, To Kill with Intrigue, Snake and Crane Arts of Shaolin, Dragon Fist, Battle Creek Brawl, and Dragon Lord.
Oh, that's great.
What are you thinking about Jackie Chan?
Well, I've seen Battle Creek Brawl, I've seen Snake and the Crane Art of Shaolin, and I've seen Killer Meteors. And all of those were pretty entertaining. Love Jackie Chan. I mean, who hates Jackie Chan?
That's a good point.
I've never met
other than his enemies.
Right, yeah. If I ever do meet someone who hates Jackie Chan, I'll meet someone who hates life itself.
That's true.
So this is a no-brainer. I think the thing that excites me most about this is the Volume 1. Because, and especially if this is going to be early career stuff, which I think we were talking about a little bit last time too, how so much of his early career when he was kind of finding his persona hasn't been really seen in America. So I'm excited about all of these, especially ones I haven't seen before.
I have a feeling that they're going to get the rights to all of the same ones that 88 Films put out. And yeah. I'm just hoping that they get the rights to all of the special features too, because that would make these kind of a must buy at the price that they're putting it out, at least. Mm-hmm. Because I think this is like $80 or $90 right now. And for how many films are on this, that is a shockingly good price for Shout Factory. And this does come with a poster, I believe. I think so. I'd have to check the website again. But yes, this as a Volume 1, it would not surprise me if the Volume 2 is just more of what 88 Films put out previously. But that's not all they announced. They announced Freaky with Vince Vaughn on 4K. This is coming on January 24th. Now, this is kind of a half of one and 50% of another type of update for me. I genuinely really like this film. Did you see this one?
I actually did. It must have been streaming. I don't know why. Oh, I do know why, because she's in Supernatural. Catherine Newton, is that where I know her from? And I
probably.
I must have watched that with my oldest daughter, because we watched every single episode of Supernatural and then like everything we could find with the actors. So anyway, who cares? Yes, I've seen it. It was, Vince Vaughn's funny.
He is. He kind of killed this role, I think.
He just is, yeah. And watching him pretend to be, a 16-year-old girl, it's funny.
John says she is in the upcoming Ant-Man film as well.
Oh, yeah. She's the one that screws everything up and sends them into I saw the trailer.
So the downside to this, which I'm happy we're getting this in 4K, but the downside, there's no new special features compared to the Blu-ray that's already been released, and it's also not a collector's edition. So it's just going to be in a 4K case. For those that really like the packaging aspect, there's no poster, no slipcover, no collector's edition branding, nothing like that. Just a 4K case and the disc. It is also, which is different than, I believe the Happy Death Day films only had the 4K disc. This one has the 4K and the Blu-ray. So for anybody looking to upgrade eventually, that is a selling point. However, the Blu-ray has been available for years since this came out. So, yeah, this is one that's not a huge jump off the seat to pre-order one for a lot of people, I'm assuming. But perhaps even more disappointing for a lot of people, we're also getting Ouija from 2014 on 4K, and just like the other one, there is no collector's edition branding for this, no slipcover. I don't think we're getting a poster for this. It does say there's reversible art on it and that there are extras in progress. But the big thing, everybody hates this movie. This is a really weird choice. I feel like they got this and Freaky in a deal with Happy Death Day, and they had to put them out or they'd be losing money. But the only one that people really want of this is the sequel, because the sequel is genuinely really good. This one is genuinely really bad. This is just a really not well-made movie at all.
I always think it's funny when movies are advertised as being from the producer of something. That's going to be a guarantee of anything.
Somebody had money and also funded this one. Come on. But let's keep going with some odd Shout Factory things. They're also putting out Wrath of Man on 4K with Jason Statham. This one is not going to be Shout Select, not Scream Factory, just a regular Shout Factory 4K title, which is kind of odd on something like this. Interesting. It does not say extras are in progress. Does not say collector's edition. Not going to be anything special on this one, probably. Then, like hours later, they announced all of those early in the morning, and then this one got announced later that night. Dawn of the Dead from 2004 is coming out on 4K. This one has all of the features already printed up on here. There seems to be nothing new on this disc. This is the Zack Snyder film, Dawn of the Dead, with no new special features. I like this movie a lot. I really do. But yet again, this is another 4K upgrade that a lot of people are just really against Shout Factory for doing. And I don't know what's going on, but I feel like they need to be peppering in more new titles. And that doesn't mean, new to them that Lionsgate already put out. It means new to disc or new to 4K or something. That would be nice for sure.
Yeah, these are all some passes for me. It's hard. I really, really love Jason Statham. I watch any movie he's in. I have no explanation for it. I just do. But I don't like Guy Ritchie. I don't like Guy Ritchie's movies. They're not for me. They're somebody's favorite movie, but they're not for me. And
they're very frenetic. I get that.
Yeah, I really, really love Sarah Polley. I think she's a great actress and an even better director. But I really don't like Zack Snyder movies. This one is probably my favorite Zack Snyder movie, no doubt, due to Sarah Polley and the script by James Gunn is not bad, but I don't need to see it again.
I genuinely really like this movie, and I'm glad that they're going to have it out there on 4K. But I just hope Shout Factory themselves come back, because this isn't even their most odd decision of the month. We're going to talk about that one in just a moment. But first, let's talk about this. We got some details. Kino upgrading their Blu-ray release of The Italian Job to a 4K disc. This is coming on January 31st on 4K and a standalone Blu-ray disc. This is going to have a new HDR Dolby Vision Master by Paramount from a 4K scan of the 35. There's an audio commentary by the screenwriter Troy Kennedy Martin and Matthew Field, the author of The Making of the Italian Job. Another audio commentary by producer Michael Dealey and Matthew Field, the author of Michael Caine, You're a Big Man. Then, on the Blu-ray, we got some other stuff. We got a 2002 documentary, 2002 making of, another documentary from 2002 called Get a Bloomin' Move On, a featurette called Mini Adventures from 2009, and then deleted scenes with optional audio commentary by Matthew Field. Lots of stuff coming on this one. This looks like a great release. And we even got the original poster art on here, which I am stoked about. Love this iconic poster. The Italian Job.
Yeah, that's a fun movie. I definitely prefer the original to the Marky Mark remake. But the Marky Mark remake wasn't terrible. But this is fun. I mean, this era of heist movies was so fun.
Oh yeah.
So yeah, I'm definitely going to dig into the Italian Job.
Plus, this era of Michael Caine, he was just incredible back then. I did want to point out, Chris says Mondo Witch's red case is still available, just placed an order. So for anybody still wanting it, jump on there for sure. All right. We got confirmation. Terrifier 2 coming to a 4K exclusively through Best Buy on December 27th. You can order this now. We talked about this a little bit earlier. Good, not great in my opinion, but if you're really wanting the 4K, you got to go to Best Buy. Before we go into the partner labels, like really odd that they're fragmenting this release. So we have a Steelbook coming exclusive to Walmart, a 4K coming exclusive to Best Buy, and a special edition coming exclusive to Amazon, all three with different special features. So if you want a 4K Steelbook release of Terrifier 2 with all of the special features, you buy 3 different versions.
I'm trying to wrap my head around like Walmart shoppers being like, "Oh, Terrifier 2," but maybe I'm just out of the loop.
Keep in mind, this is a Walmart exclusive for a store that could not print a slipcover with the words Satanic Panic on it for the movie that released a few years ago, and they had to call it just Panic. And they are releasing an exclusive Terrifier 2 release.
Okay.
This is an interesting one.
Yeah. I remember back in the day going to Walmart to buy CDs, but they were all edited. And so I quit buying anything Walmart. Okay, well, go get it, y'all.
Go get all of them.
Yeah.
Let's get into some partner label announcements, huh?
Oh, yeah, these look great.
We've got 11 of them this month, and I got to admit, I'm a little whelmed this month. Certainly not underwhelmed, certainly not overwhelmed, but it's just a month. This one, the first one up, Big World Pictures is putting out Distant from 2002. This is one that, however, that sounds freaking amazing. Not to mention, I really love this art on here. Really nice watercolor art. Mahmout is a relatively successful commercial photographer who has been struggling to come to terms with the growing gap between his artistic ideals and his professional obligations. His tedious workload, coupled with the lingering loss he still feels for his ex-wife, newly married and on the verge of leaving Istanbul for Canada, leaves Mahmout clinging to the melancholic and obsessive routines of his solitary life. Without warning, Mahmoud's distant relative Yusuf arrives in Istanbul, determined to find a job aboard a ship so that he may fulfill his dream of traveling around the world. In need of a place to stay as he searches for work, Yusuf imposes himself on Mahmoud, who resents the sudden intrusion, but nonetheless feels obligated to help his family. It doesn't take long for Yusuf to discover that the work he is looking for isn't available, but he manages to prolong his stay with Mahmoud by formulating stories that would suggest otherwise. His hope waning, Yusuf resorts to spending his days drifting through the streets of Istanbul, slowly coming to realization that without work, he may soon need to return home. Mahmoud tries to help him by offering him a job as his assistant during a photography shoot, but the fix is temporary As the two men struggle to make a connection, communication is slowly reduced to the bare minimum, and their time together must come to an end. This is going to have a making of, a film's reception at Cannes coverage, a video essay, and some subtitles. Not a super loaded disc, but it's supposed to be pretty damn good.
That description's chock full of spoilers.
It really is.
You know what I really appreciate about these partner releases? You know, when I first threw away, you know, my actual life and immersed it into cinema, I learned everything I could about pretty much every country's film industry from about 1930 to 1980 or so. But then I, you know, got kids and stuff like that, and so there are these huge gaps in world cinema for me, and a lot of these partner titles are filling in points in time that I just have no awareness of. So I'm excited to see this.
Yeah, this one is one of the ones that sounded really good to me, even though now it feels like I know the entire film.
Yeah.
This might be one of the most striking pieces of art on a slipcover from OCN ever. Love the way this looks, both sides of this one. This one is from Altered Innocence, and it's pronounced, Elisa from 1995. Vanessa Paradis from Knife Plus Heart stars as the alienated and angry Marie, living as a smart aleck teenage street hustler, burdened by the rage brought upon by the suicide of her emotionally fragile mother. The titular Elisa is played by Florence Thomason. Marie's fury inspires her to track down and kill the man who abandoned her and her mother in the first place, her father Jacques, played by iconic French superstar Gérard Depardieu. What unfolds is a poignant and desperate plea for tolerance and acceptance, where tragedy and angst can unwind and be replaced by forgiveness and love. See, that is a much better way to write a synopsis as compared to the last one. What are you thinking about this one?
The fact that Gérard Depardieu is an iconic French superstar has always been inexplicable to me. I've never understood the appeal. Nevertheless, I am, yes, I believe it is. So there's all kinds of cancellation issues with this film, contextual. But I mean, I feel like I have to see it just because of that cover, frankly.
This is a truly shockingly beautiful slipcover.
Yeah.
And I normally don't get like that over slipcovers, but this is amazing. This is one, I am shocked we don't have a print of this available. I probably would have done it. I imagine this is a print without the title on there.
Yeah, it looks really cool.
If only. Even the back is decent. It's not better, but it's decent. Next up, we got a little bit of censorship. We can get from AGFA, Doris Wishman, The Daylight Years. This is the final box that is coming from AGFA for Doris Wishman. This includes Nude on the Moon, Blaze Star Goes Nudist, Hideout in the Sun, Gentlemen Prefer Nature Girls, Diary of a Nudist, The Prince and the Nature Girl. And of course, this is coming with the magnetized hard box that you can use to connect all three together. And AGFA just bringing the heat with Doris Wishman. And now I believe OCN has put out everything that has come out from Doris Wishman that still survives today.
Yeah, and that's 20 some movies total. That's just amazing. The key text in this set, of course, is Nude on the Moon, which Wishman biographer Michael Bowen interpreted as a expression of Wishman's grief over the sudden passing of her husband, which is what led to her becoming a filmmaker in the first place. And I highly recommend reading any essay Michael Bowen has written about Wishman because they're great. Oh, he does commentary. Great. So he'll probably talk about it. Yeah, I've already put in my order for this. I love Wishman. In this set, I really like Diary of a Nudist. It's fun. Hideout in the Sun is fun. I haven't seen Prince and the Nature Girl, so that would be cool. She's not for everyone, but everyone should see at least one Doris Wishman film.
I want to point out too, on Nude on the Moon, the commentary is done by Frank Henenlotter and Anthony Sneed.
Yes, that's great.
Terry, I think what they were alluding to was the double feature Picorama title that Vinegar Syndrome put out.
Yeah.
So I don't think there's anything else that is coming from Wishman. I could be wrong, but I don't think there's anything else. Let's see. There's also some other commentaries on here. It's not the only one with the commentary. We've got also on top of all that, a booklet with writing from Something Weird's Lisa Petrucci and a vintage Doris Wishman interview.
Fantastic. I could not be more pleased.
This one looks surprisingly good to me. Saturn's Core Audio and Video is putting out The Good Book from 1997. And this one reminds me about really, really closely about one of the films they put out earlier this year that I loved. This one says, in the near future, the world's population is forced to stay confined in their homes at all times. I've never heard of anything like that. Due to the depleting ozone layer, those that venture outdoors quickly devolve into zombie-like mutant outsiders. The GVC agency provides all complying citizens with their communication and entertainment needs through its government-regulated internet. Joseph Cyrus is a door-to-door PC repairman forced to brave the perils of the outside world in order to keep his GVC clients fully connected. During his travels, Joseph soon begins seeing visions of a godlike being that urges him to destroy the internet using a homemade virus. Is Joseph losing his sanity, serving the whims of a higher power, or being tricked by the world's greatest trickster? How much have you gotten into Saturn's Core so far?
I really started watching Saturn's Core stuff after seeing your interview with what's the name of the guy? The name escapes me.
Ross Schneider.
Yes, I thought that was a great interview, and he was a really interesting cat. And I was like, okay, I'll check out some of these titles. And I watched what's the one about the indigenous spirit, Savage Harvest, which was kind of fun. And I just picked up several titles because Vinegar Syndrome did a spotlight sale a couple months ago. I am trying very hard to immerse myself into a genre that I've never been super into. Although I like titles like Cannibal Hookers, Cannibal Campout. I remember watching them on VHS back in the day. So yeah, I'm slowly becoming a fan of a lot of SOV stuff.
You just kind of got to be in the mood sometimes. If you're not, it can really put you off. But if you're in the right mood and just want to hang out and absorb it, a lot of it can be really good. Yeah, this one looked good. Not to mention, loaded with special features. This has a audio commentary with writer-director Matthew Giacinto and writer-producer Barry Gersden, feature-length documentary chronicling the complete history of the Good Book and Drop Dead Films, featuring the director, writer Barry Gersden, special effects artist Paul J. Mason, and Fred Kramer, with some actors and more. You got a full original excerpt from the Drop Dead Films trailer vault. You've got behind-the-scenes production stills, a CGI animated trailer for writer Barry Gersden's debut novel, The Day I Met My Mother, a short film by Matthew Giacinto from 1995, with commentary, another short film from 2002, and then another short film from 2002. There's just a lot of stuff on all of these, and I'm so glad they make it really worth the purchase.
Yeah, I think that's really valuable preservation. And, I myself wrote and didn't quite finish shooting an SOV movie that remains my great unfinished opus. So I feel a kinship and an appreciation for those who actually finished their movies.
Good. Very good. I did want to highlight this comment in the chat. Dead Sea Life says, I have it on good authority that AGFA will be releasing some version of the old Something Weird video DVD of Monsters Crash the Pajama Party Spook Show Spectacular. I thought it would have been announced by Halloween, but I think it's still coming. Interesting. Next up, one that made a lot of people happy. This got announced. This is I Think We're Alone Now, coming from Enjoy the Ride Records. This is from 2008, and it's a feature documentary that is an intimate portrait of two people who are deeply in love with the 80s pop singer, Tiffany. Will, give me your hot take on Tiffany.
Well, I was definitely a Debbie Gibson person, but
that checks out.
But I am just the right age for Debbie and Tiffany to be a big part of my adolescence. I have read about but never seen this documentary, so I'm quite interested in watching it. And you know, Tiffany has an interesting life story herself, so I'm quite intrigued to learn about this story. I don't know. That sounds cryptic, I guess. I don't want to sound like I'm a Tiffany stalker.
We found him. He's over there. Get him.
Right.
Stan Geezy says he must see your movie, Will.
Oh, yeah. It's called Quaker College Massacre, and it is unfinished, but the scenes that I did shoot are pretty funny.
Now I'm dying to see it.
Yeah.
This Tiffany movie is loaded with extras. Got a lot of stuff on here. Enjoy the Ride quietly, one of the better partner labels for some of these documentaries, and I'm very intrigued by this one for sure. Dark Star Pictures announced the Icarus line must die. Here is both sides of the slip. This one says it is a dramatic narrative feature set against the backdrop of the current LA underground music scene. The film tracks Joe Cardaman, frontman of notorious punk band boys The Icarus Line, as he navigates his way through the ups and downs of the modern music landscape. With the new record completed and a major label deal within sight, Joe fights to keep his band, his relationship, and his life from completely falling apart. This is from 2017. We got an audio commentary, two of them actually. We got an unreleased scene, unreleased concert footage, and then an essay from critic A.S. Hamra, tour photographs of the early days of the Icarus Line. I mean, I love a lot of these movie films.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. All right, Keith Morris is in it. That's cool. We'll definitely check that out. I like your.
I am into it.
Yeah.
Next up, we got Jane by Charlotte coming from Utopia. This is about Charlotte Gainsbourg looks at her mother, Jane Birkin, in a way she never did, overcoming a sense of reserve. Using a camera lens, they expose themselves to each other, begin to step back, leaving space for a mother-daughter relationship. Just quietly, another great release from Utopia. One of their really art housey documentaries that are just amazing to step into if you don't know anything about the story and learn from it. One of the cool things, they've got a Q&A on here with Jim Jarmusch and Charlotte Gainsbourg from the Quad Cinema, and then another Q&A with Charlotte Gainsbourg from the New York Film Festival. And there is a booklet with an essay by Heather Drain in this one. Heather Drain, stepping up, doing a lot of some really cool stuff on these releases lately.
Okay.
This is one that a lot of people got their attention piqued a little bit. This is Mind, Body, and Soul, coming from Culture Shock, releasing from 1992. Here is the back of this slip. This one stars Ginger Lynn Allen, Wings Hauser, and Jay Richardson. All Brenda wants is a normal life with a normal boyfriend, but she soon finds that her boyfriend is anything but normal. He's part of a satanic cult that makes human sacrifices, because that's what you do. A police-interrupted ritual at the cult's demonic temple lands Brenda in jail. Upon release, she has to pick up the pieces of her shattered life with the help of a protective lawyer, a hardened detective, and her old cellmate. But the cult hasn't forgotten Brenda, and they will stop at nothing to silence her forever. We got a full-length commentary from Rick Sloan on this one, an archival interview with Sloan, and then archival interview with Ginger Lynn Allen, with a new interview with the art director Mark A. Richardson. How do you feel about Rick Sloan?
I've already ordered this. I love Wings Hauser. In fact, last week I taught another Vinegar Syndrome release, Pale Blood, which Wings Hauser acts the hell out of that Love Wings Hauser. And Ginger Lynn Allen, she's a pretty good actress, and I think her past as an adult film actress kind of obscures her other talents, and so I think she's a pretty good, she's in several action and horror films throughout the years, and yeah, I'm excited to see this one. I didn't even have to as soon as I saw Wings Hauser and Ginger Lynn Allen, I was like, I'm done getting this.
I'm kind of surprised we didn't get a new interview with Ginger. I feel like she would have loved to talk about this.
Yeah, well, take what we can get, I guess. But yeah, that does seem odd.
Well, we got another Mind movie to talk about. We have Mindfield coming from Canadian International Pictures. This is from 1989, featuring Michael Ironside and Christopher Plummer. Hell of a cast in this one. Have you seen this one before?
Yes. This is one that I saw in the video store days, and I'm very excited to see what it actually looks like when the picture's not pieces. So yeah, I mean, this is prime Ironside years. So I'm very pleased. I like Lisa Langlois from class of 1984. Yeah. So this is a definite on my list.
One of the cool paragraphs here, made by a supergroup of Canadian genre filmmakers, including George Mahalka, who did My Bloody Valentine, and Tom Barry, who did The Amityville Curse. They joined forces to develop the script with novelist William Deverell. Mindfield was eventually brought to the screen by Canuxploitation master Jean-Claude Lord, who did The Vindicator. This one has an audio commentary featuring Paul Karup of Canuxploitation.com and film historian Jason Pachonsky. We've got a 12-minute interview with the original director. We've got interview with producer Tom Barry, interview with actress Lisa Langlois. Lisa also reflects on 12 memorable collaborations, and then a booklet with a tribute to Jean-Claude Lord by Fantasia programmer Marc Lamotte. I mean, this seems like a great release.
Yeah.
Canny is putting out Sellout from 2008. This one sounds incredibly interesting to me. Phony Corporation has just promoted doe-eyed Eric Tan to head of product design, and he's already invented a revolutionary 8-in-1 soybean machine. Taste the silken tofu, the creamy soy milk, the crispy bean curd. It just has one reprehensible flaw. No flaws. The lack of a built-in breakdown mechanism appalls the conglomerate's two-man executive branch, who resorts to a budget exorcism to solve their problem, named Eric. Also under the axe is Phony TV 11's ruthless host, Raflesha, I think that's how you say it, crazy name, Rafleshapong, whose specialty arts program is overshadowed by an increasingly popular art form, reality TV. Determined to claw her way back to the top, she lands on a morbid concept that finds an ally in the divided product designer. Ye Jun Han's long unavailable musical, Sellout, is presented here in both its Venice and director's cut, alongside the original soundtrack of earworm musical numbers. In contrast to the realist new wave films of his contemporaries, Yo presents a wildly funny, fantastical satire of cosmopolitan Kuala Lumpur. Here is the back of the slip. This one's got the director's cut, which is 111 minutes, the Venice cut, which is 107. We got some archival interviews. We got some new interviews. But the cool thing, we got a cast commentary. We got a video essay by Andy Darrell Gomes. We got a booklet with an essay by Kong Rifty and some photos. They also have the original soundtrack CD, and this is a musical. So this is kind of a wild release. This is sort of a rarity in all of the partner labels and OCN as a whole. We don't really get audio CDs that often.
Yeah. Well, I don't want to get too political or anything, but it seems like there's some social commentary in this one.
I would be remiss if I had to argue with you there.
I have no knowledge of this whatsoever, so I'm particularly interested in seeing it now.
It's always interesting to me when I know nothing about one of these, and it immediately goes for all of my heartstrings and perfectly fits my interest. So yeah, I cannot wait to see this. The last one of the month, White Reindeer, is coming from Factory 25. Suzanne, a successful realtor living in the suburbs of Washington, D.C. with her weatherman husband, Jeff, is on top of the world as she prepares for Christmas, her favorite time of year. Things take a turn, however, when she comes home one day to find her husband brutally murdered. To cope with her overwhelming grief, Suzanne takes off from work at the suggestion of her colleagues. In the ensuing days, she tracks down a young stripper named Fantasia, with whom Jeff had a long-term relationship, and the two begin to bond over their mutual loss. Through her relationship with Fantasia, Suzanne begins to cut loose, joining the stripper on escapades of drugs, clubbing, and shoplifting. This one is from 2013 and stars Anna Margaret Hollyman, Laura Lamar Goldsboro, and Fernanda Tapia. We got a cast and crew commentary, deleted scenes, an endless fireplace, which kind of awesome. Short film practical uses for major works of modern cinema, the original uncensored trailer, and a booklet. What do you think about White Reindeer?
Well, this looks like a good Christmas movie to me. I don't know anything about it. That description sounds like something I would be very interested in seeing. And so
Same.
That's what I'm going to do. I have no compelling comments to make other than I want to see that.
Done. The answer is to purchase it.
Yeah.
Coming on January 10th from Magnolia, we are getting Piggy, a film that quite a few in the chat, I believe, have started to be seeing finally. This is a modern film, came out there during this year, and it is a tough film, supposedly. During the sweltering summertime of rural Spain, Sarah carries an extra load of teenage agony due to the perpetual bullying from her peers about her weight. She's also an outsider at home. Her parents and little brother just don't understand her. So, feelings internalized, she's often found buried in her headphones, drowning out her surroundings. One day, her usual solo dip at the local pool is disrupted by the presence of a mysterious stranger in the water and an exceptionally grueling bout of abuse at the hands of three girls. But in a strange twist of fate, along the way home, she witnesses her bloody tormentors being kidnapped in the back of the stranger's van. Yes.
Okay, good double feature with Welcome to the Dollhouse. If you want to just like really be sad for a while. Wow.
John says it is out now on VOD. If you want to watch it now, it is mostly a film about bullying. And KB says, kind of quick considering we were standing in front of the Coming Soon poster together just a month ago. Yeah, but thankfully it's not coming on Blue till January 10th, so we got a little more time. But yeah, it's interesting to see it announced so quickly. I'm eager to see this one, especially as a fat guy myself. Next up, Remains of the Day, featuring Anthony Hopkins and Emma Thompson, is getting a 4K release on February 21st. This is coming from Sony Pictures Classics. No new features or anything like that, but it does come with an audio commentary with the director and producer and actress Emma Thompson. There's also a Making of the Remains of the Day featurette, the filmmaker's Journey featurette, and then England's Fatal Flaw featurette with some deleted scenes in tow. I've never seen Remains of the Day. Have you seen this one?
This is, I'm not a big James Ivory fan. A lot of his films just kind of leave me cold. This movie, inexplicably, I just love. It moves me. It was one of the first kind of period drama movies I ever saw that I just really got into. It's right up there with Age of Innocence for me, as far as
interesting
the style of movie. And I've never read the novel, but yeah, there are some moments in this movie where I am Anthony Hopkins, his inability to express himself. I'm like, yeah, I get it. Even when I was a teenager, I was like, this guy knows what I'm talking about. It is. It's really good, and it's quite gorgeous. So I'm even without additional features, I would definitely be tempted to upgrade my Blu-ray edition, which I just got like last year.
Because of course. Next up, speaking of great movies that I actually really like, coming on January 17th, Paramount Presents is releasing Double Jeopardy on 4K and Blu-ray. This is a really good little thriller. Tommy Lee Jones is great in this. Ashley Judd is also pretty damn good in this. Really interesting movie. It's a 90s box office hit and fan favorite. Coming to Paramount Presents for the first time in 4K with HDR10 and Dolby Vision. Ashley Judd shines as an innocent wife convicted of murdering her husband, only to find out that he staged his own death. Tommy Lee Jones is the parole officer hot on her trail after she skips town to find the man who framed her. Full of twists and turns, it delivers more than a double dose of suspense and action.
Yeah. Bruce Beresford, who's had the weirdest career, in my opinion. Australian director, best known for like Breaker Morant, but then, comes to America, makes Tender Mercies, but also makes Driving Miss Daisy, which has not aged. And one of the so I remember seeing Double Jeopardy, the dreaded Bruce Greenwood. I remember seeing Double Jeopardy, but I don't think I know the difference between it and like Along Came a Spider right now. Like if you put in either one of them, I would not know which one was which. So I definitely need to see Double Jeopardy again.
And now that you say that, I can't remember Along Came a Spider, even though I know that I've seen it. So that makes sense. John Peters says, speaking of Anthony Hopkins, where's Magic on Blu-ray? My answer is right here.
Here. Got it.
From Second Sight. Next up, Cloverfield is coming in a 4K Steelbook. This is coming direct from the studio. No new features on this, but a fancy looking Steelbook, actually. And I really like this movie. What do you think of Cloverfield?
Well, I guess the Steelbook will be the only thing stable about it. All I can remember about Cloverfield is how much found footage, you're going to have a shaky cam, but goddamn.
This one is bad.
Cloverfield's tough to watch. For me, some people thought it was genius.
Well, not only is the camera unstable, it also features TJ Miller.
Oh, right. A guy who's occasionally been funny, but the more you see him, the more difficult it is to laugh.
He was pretty decent in Underwater, but that was before he lost his shit. So
yeah. That's really, really cool packaging.
Yeah, and that's about the end of that story. Glorious, the Glory Hole film from Rebecca McKendry. This is coming to Blu-ray on January 24th from RLJE, and I'm sure there will be at least a couple extras on here, but they have not been announced yet.
Great. Did you see it?
I have not seen it. This one, for some reason, didn't really appeal to me. I've never loved Rebecca McKendry's filmmaking. I just don't know that the voice of J.K. Simmons as a glory hole monster can really make me want to see this.
Listen to what you just said. I had no idea it was J.K. Simmons, so I watched it on Shudder, and I was very resistant. I was like, how am I going to get 90 minutes out of it? John didn't like it, I see. I didn't love all of it, but I liked it a lot more than I thought. I don't want to spoil anything. Some parts of the story I was like, come on. And the fact that I was willing to accept a glory hole, a cosmic glory hole monster, but not aspects of the narrative, says, like, okay, well, this I can go with, but that just doesn't make any sense. Nevertheless, I all respect to John, I could definitely see people not liking it. I did. I enjoyed it. I would probably see it again.
There are a lot of weird sentences that have been said on the show, and that whole thing there might have taken the cake as one of the better ones. Let's keep going. We only got a few left. So this is the one I alluded to earlier, is one of the most odd choices for Scream Factory. First off, don't know how they were doing their releases this time. They had some releases come out on Monday, some come out Monday night, and then out of nowhere, this got announced on Tuesday, even though the Amazon pre-order had been up since Sunday. A timeline that I can't really hold on to. They're putting out They Live again on 4K. No new features, exact same disc and all that, but they're giving it a steelbook and one of these enamel pin sets that some people love and some people really hate. First off, very weird that they didn't do this at the same time as the 4K release that was just last year.
Which I picked up, and so I'm not going to do this. I would have,
right?
You know, I'm not necessarily charmed by tchotchkes, although Severin gets me a lot of times. But yeah, that's annoying. You know, I just shelled out for the 4K of They Live, and now I got this new one. I'm not doing it again. You know.
Yeah, and this is a film that's been released. Like, this is almost getting to Halloween and Evil Dead type numbers. This movie has come out so many times.
And I'll say this: you know, Stan just said not a popular take, but he's not a huge fan of They Live. I like They Live, but I don't like it as much as the people who love They Live. Like there are so many other John Carpenter movies I like better, like Big Trouble in Little China, for example. That don't get the same kind of attention for some reason.
I love the message in They Live way more than the movie They Live.
Yeah.
I think it's strongly middle tier for Carpenter.
Yeah. Yeah.
That's exactly what I'll say.
If you say, hey, Will, you can only watch one Rowdy Roddy Piper movie for the rest of your life, I'm getting Hell Comes to Frogtown. It's not even going to.
I was about to say the same. You better not say They Live over Hell Comes to Frogtown.
No way. But I do like They Live. So don't come at me. Buy, consume. Yeah, great.
Speaking of, if you really love They Live, in my merch store, I've got a shirt that says They live, they laugh, they love. No, I'm just kidding. It says they live, they obey, they consume. Anyways, Peter Falk is getting a 4-film collection from Mill Creek on January 31st. It has The Cheap Detective, Big Trouble, Happy New Year, and Love. I myself have never gotten into Peter Falk. Have you?
Well, Princess Bride, you know.
I like. Listen. It's good. The fans have sort of ruined it for me.
Yeah, well, I've never really spoken with anyone about The Princess Bride other than my kids. So,
and maybe your kids hate you for that. I'm just kidding.
In this set, I've only seen The Cheap Detective, which is pretty good. I don't think I've ever seen an episode of Columbo. So I'm not actually super exposed to Peter Falk. I would like to watch an episode of Columbo at some point. But these other 3 films I haven't seen, so I'd be interested in seeing that. Well, now hold on, Dead Sea Life. Let's not. Let's not. Oh yeah.
Anyways, that's enough. That's enough Peter Falk.
Oh, here we go.
That's really weird that this is showing up as completely empty. Texas Chainsaw Massacre is coming in 4K from Dark Sky Films in the U.S. in 2023, and we know nothing else. The sad thing is, their Blu-ray release was kind of shit, and I would not be surprised if the 4K is from the exact same remaster because they're not going to pay for any more of it. So we have Second Sight's coming. I recommend you go with Second Sight. They have a much better history. They're one that I would trust way before I would trust Dark Sky.
Yeah. I wonder what kind of extras. The Dark Sky had a pretty cool documentary, if I remember correctly.
And I'm hoping the Second Sight can get that.
Yeah. Well, yeah, I would say Second Sight's probably going to be the definitive. I'm just glad it's happening.
For sure. I would agree there. But like we said, it's a good year for Hooper.
Yep.
Coming on January 31st from Kino, The Asphyx, which there's no way to say that isn't funny. The Asphyx. From 1972, new audio commentary by novelist and critic Kim Newman and writer-editor Stephen Jones. I feel like I haven't been saying Kim Newman's name enough recently. He's normally very busy, but I'm glad to see him still getting work.
Yeah, he was busy getting his ass fixed.
That's enough. I'll leave that title alone with that line. That was perfect. This one, I don't think this got like a big announcement, so I wanted to make sure this got highlighted a little bit. Coming in just 5 days, we are getting a 4K Steelbook for Casablanca, and it comes with this big special edition with some art cards, 2 theatrical posters, the original press book, letters of transit, 3 lobby cards, 3 set of blueprints, and then an additional extra content disc after the film on 4K and blue, which is pretty dang cool. It's even got a slipcase over the Steelbook, which in the US for a studio release, that's pretty rare. And it's very cheap on Diabolic. It's cheaper at Diabolic than anywhere else.
Oh, that's good to know.
It's like $52, $55, and everywhere else it's like $60, $65.
Yeah.
We are getting. Go ahead.
Oh, I was just. Nothing needs to be said about Casablanca. It's
no.
Great.
That's exactly why I didn't. It's got too much of a reputation. Requiem for a Heavyweight with Anthony Quinn and Mickey Rooney and Jackie Gleason and Julie Harris. That is coming from Mill Creek on January 31st. And the moment I said Mill Creek, about 14 people started crying. So I understand. It probably could have been in better hands. However, Mill Creek it is.
Yeah, if you are a fan of boxing movies and you haven't seen Requiem for a Heavyweight, you have to see Requiem for a Heavyweight, no matter who's putting it out. So we can say that. It's a great, great boxing movie.
I will throw out there, I do believe this is out on a double feature from Umbrella, and you can get it on deep discount right now for like $9 or $11, something like that. That is going to be the best way to do that, and it is region free.
Okay.
So if you were looking to pick up Requiem for a Heavyweight, head over to deep discount, save yourself some money, and the Mill Creekification of this title.
Oh, yep, you're correct. I found it. Comes with
that was fast.
It's on a double feature with Humphrey Bogart in The Harder They Fall. Hey, nice. Mark Robeson. Okay.
What's the price on that?
Blu-ray.com has it listed Australian dollars $24.99. So whatever.
I was thinking the deep discount. I think it's over here in part of their blowout bargain bin or whatever. So I think it's less than $12.
That is where I will go.
Pretty cool announcement today, although we don't have all of the exact details on this yet. Coming in 2023 on 4K from Warner Brothers, we are getting Superman 2, Superman 3, and Superman 4, The Quest for Peace. The Digital Bits shared the information and said that they are releasing all 3 of these on 4K. Superman 2 will include both the original theatrical version and the Donner cut. However, if you pay attention to the verbiage there, it does not say that it will include the Donner cut on 4K. However, I would hope with how they are, pulling that part out and making it important that they realize people want both cuts in 4K. So hopefully that's the case. We shall see.
Yeah. Well, my heart sank because I went to deepdiscount.com and Requiem for Heavyweight double feature is sold out. But moving on to Superman, I'm gonna don't get mad at me, but I never really got into any of these.
I get that. I think Superman 2 is genuinely a masterpiece, but the rest of them I can kind of take them or leave them. I get that.
Well, you know what? I'm gonna say something and see if it antagonizes anyone. The reason I don't really get into them, I don't like Superman.
Oh no, I completely understand there.
He's the Cyclops of DC. It's just so boring. He can do he gets a new power whenever he needs one. I don't like it. Turn back time to save your girlfriend. Come on.
That made it Lois lame. Anyways, coming on February 7th from Kino, That Man Bolt featuring Fred Williamson. We got a nice cover art looking here. We got That Man Hammer, a new interview with Fred Williamson. Funny enough, it seems like everybody has forgotten that he was problematic on the set of VFW fairly recently, and everybody's just okay with him. But anyways.
Yeah, I actually gave a little lecture about the career of Fred the Hammer Williamson tonight, and concluded with I'm such a fan, but then I concluded with a picture of him at a Trump rally, speaking on behalf of Donald Trump, and I was like, go on, Hammer, come on, man. I'll have to. I don't know the story of VFW. That's sad to hear, because I've always respected Fred Williamson's code. The rules that he set. I'll never take a role where I have to dance. You can't kill me. I'll win my fights. My character gets the girl if he wants her. I mean, it's kind of sexist, but like. But he refused. He refused to be the sidekick, the sacrificial character, and the stuff he did with Larry Cohen, Black Caesar, Hell Up in Harlem, Original Gangsters, is so great. His Italian career is so great. I hate to hear, and I hate to know some things about him that I don't personally like. I still love his stuff. Batman Bolt is a cool movie. I'm looking forward to seeing it.
He's made a lot of great films. Period.
Yeah, truly great.
Grindhouse Video is hosting their Black November sale. This will start, I believe, tonight at midnight, and they're going to have over 1,000 titles on sale. There's going to be a banner at the top of their website that you can go to, and they're going to be limited quantities. So he was giving the example, like if he has 150 on hand, he might only discount 50 of them. So the first 50 bought will be at the lower price, and then the other 100 will be regular price. So if you want it, you're going to want to go in there quickly to pick up from Grindhouse. I did not post yet, but keep in mind, tonight also at midnight starts the month-long, well, almost month-long. It's like 3.5 weeks. The Barnes & Noble Criterion 50% off sale starts tonight, and that includes everything that releases in the month of November, which means, like Malcolm X on 4K will be reduced in price starting tonight. That includes Wall-E coming out on 4K at the end of the month as well.
Man.
You're welcome. Grasshopper Film, which has done a lot of really great Asian releases, they announced a new classics label, and their first title is going to be The Strange Mr. Victor from 1938. They have not announced any more details on this yet, but this should be coming fairly soon. They usually don't announce super far ahead of time, and I would not be surprised at all if this was out before like March.
Okay, cool. That looks. I know nothing.
Same. Finally, I wanted to throw this out here so we could discuss it a little bit. Severin has announced that they are going to be having a couple bundles that will feature Dario Argento's autobiography entitled Fear, and then Pixel Elixir is creating a Dario Argento enamel pin as part of their, what do they call it, the Hall of Fame for Severin Films, their pins, which means, that says to me we're getting something from Argento for Black Friday.
Well, so it could be Dark Dreams. Could it be Do You Like Hitchcock? I really want that to get a Blu-ray release. Or could it be?
There are a few guesses going around already, and I think there have been a couple hints that people are getting some of these from. Let me look up the titles real quick, because I don't remember which one it is specifically, but when I see it, I will remember.
I am so glad that Vinegar Syndrome is moving its subscriber month from November to January because the Criterion, the Grindhouse, and the Severin, holy shit, you know.
Yeah, there's a lot.
What are we supposed to do?
Of course, now that I'm looking at the list, I'm not seeing anything he's directed that's ringing a bell. Does somebody remember what the rumored Dario Argento title is? Let me look at the ones he's written as well. That might be it. Nope, nothing is catching my eye. I am not remembering. Anyways, what Dario Argento that we don't have on Blue would you be most excited about?
Well, he's got that movie Cozy Sia, Man Called Amen, the Western that he did. Oh no, he just wrote that. The 5 Days of Milan. That's the one movie he directed that's never been released. As far as stuff that hasn't been put on Blu-ray, Giallo, which I think is a lot better than people give it credit for, and Do You Like Hitchcock, which I think is really good. Those would be the ones that I would be most excited about.
I believe 5 Days of Milan is the one that was soft announced earlier this year.
That's the only one
I think that's the one that we're going to be getting.
Well, thanks. I hope you're right.
I'm glad you're happy. But yeah, I'm excited on this. I've got all of the Severin Hall of Fame pins, and I actually have them up on this wall where I show them all. Love that they do those. Love that they are for genuine Hall of Fame people. The autobiography I've heard good things about. Heard that it's a genuinely great read. Have you read the autobiography yet?
No, but it's on my wish list, and so now I'll be able to take it off my wish list.
Perfect. Inferno might be coming on 4K from Blue Underground. I would not be surprised if that was coming from Arrow as well eventually, because they also did the Blue. But the big one, I desperately want Opera on 4K, and then of course a lot of people are dying to see Four Flies on Grey Velvet. Yeah,
he's one director. I mean, he's one director that I will upgrade every single title. I'd get the card player on 4K.
I get it.
So,
well, let's go over what is coming out next week before anybody forgets, just in case. This is a pretty big week next week. We're getting Casablanca on 4K, Escape from Alcatraz on 4K from Kino, the studio release of Saturday Night Fever on 4K, Vestron's next release of Earth Girls Are Easy, Power of the Dog 4K from Criterion, the I, the Jury 4K and 3D release, which I think is a really neat set, and I might just get it just to kind of support that. I would love that type of dual format. We're getting LA Bounty. I believe this is coming from Kino. 8 Mile coming on 4K. Frasier, the complete series, which a lot of people are excited about. Peace Killers. I believe this is coming from Scorpion or Code Red, one of the two. Audrey Rose coming from Arrow. The Aqua Teen Forever Plantasm 4K release is coming. A Small Town in Texas is getting a retail release from Scorpion. Trancers 4 from Full Moon. Trancers 5 from Full Moon. A couple more. Incredible But True coming from Arrow. Bedtime for Bonzo with Ronald Reagan. Yes, that Ronald Reagan coming from Kino. Lost Illusions coming from Music Box Films. And then Christmas Cruelty from Unearthed Films. That's going to be a big one for a handful of people. And the last one I'll throw out there, I Love My Dad. This is one. I believe this is the one with, Patton Oswalt's film. I am definitely very interested in that movie, and I need to get that one pre-ordered. All right, my friend. We did it.
That Frasier set comes with tossed salad, but not scrambled eggs. Hard pass.
Maybe next time. Maybe when we get a full 4K disc, we'll also get scrambled eggs. I loved Frasier when I was younger, but I never understood any of the jokes. And I imagine if I watched it now, I would either love it and genuinely remember a lot of it, or think it was just so pretentious that it's terrible.
It took me a while to get over I was still angry at Frasier's dad for being a bad dad in Say Anything. I can't remember the actor's name, but I was so mad at him.
Rest in peace, because he's actually dead now.
Yeah. I think Frasier came out at about the same time that I saw Say Anything for the first time as a kid. So I was like, this guy's an asshole.
I am still so stoked on this Columbia Classic set. While we continue to vamp and talk, I'm going to get a couple of these out and check them out.
I had like I was saying, I had no idea those sets were so nice. Now I have to go back and look at them all. I went ahead at the Full Moon video sale last week and got all 5 Trancers movies, including the 4K of the first one. I had a box set of DVDs of the 5, and for the longest time, the first 4 were on Blu-ray, but not number 5, so I couldn't get rid of my DVD set. And currently, Subspecies is the same with Subspecies. They're all on Blu-ray except for Subspecies 4 Bloodstorm. So I have to keep my box set of DVDs until the problems that I face.
I just checked. I only have the first 2. I still need to get 3, 4, and 5.
Of Trancers?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. It's a good series. You know, Full Moon. God bless them. There you go.
I love that they do the same inner art, different inner art on all of these.
You know, that's probably a film John Huston didn't think much of, but I just love that there's a film where John Huston directs Tim Curry.
True. I feel like a lot of people hated this movie, and I really loved As Good as It Gets.
I always quote the line of Jack Nicholson when he's asked, "How do you write women so well?" and he says, "I think of a man, and I take away reason and accountability."
The funny thing is, it sounds like something that Jack Nicholson would actually say.
Yeah, I'm not sure it was in the script.
It was his only line of improv.
Oh, great.
Man. And the funny thing is, I would not doubt that. Oh, and I totally forgot to share through this. Not only all those, you also get a digital copy of all the films as well.
Oh, wow. Okay. Yeah, that's the kind of thing that can free up some shelf space, because most of the titles that are in these box sets I've already got as standalone.
Right.
Yeah.
And this does have some exclusive features on some of these. Like this one has, let's see, the 1956 remake of It Happened One Night is also in here on in HD, newly remastered even. And that's got Jack Lemmon in it and June Allison.
Man, it's tough to be a collector.
It really is.
Well,
Will, we normally talk for like 4 hours, and we're only at 2:15. Is there anything special that you wanted to talk about tonight?
Oh, man. Well, you sure you don't want to do top 5 Disney princesses?
We really can if you want to, because I've got them at the hip ready to go.
I don't know. I have trouble. Like some of them are so close that that I'm not sure how to rank them. Oh, okay. Well, I'm a hardcore fan for Trancers 4 and 5. Top 5 Trancers films: 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5, in that order. No, I've been, as you have, I've been so busy the past couple of weeks. It's been hard to really get my thoughts straight, and so I've just been looking forward to tonight, where we can just sit down and not even have to make sense. Just look at pictures of movies and be like, "That's cool," yeah,
and hang out. Yeah.
This is kind of a Beavis and Butthead episode of Disconnected. But Ginger.
Ice wants to know, how do you feel about anime?
Okay. Not that my opinion matters at all, but I like answering these questions. So I do teach a course on anime. It's on the origins of anime up to the industry shift into digital, right? So I go from now I'm trying to think of the So the first, I show this movie, Momotaro no Omiwashi, which is the first anime film. It was made in 1943. And it's very influenced by Disney style. And it's about these cute anthropomorphic animals who are on an island. And they're playing and having a good time. And then they get attacked by some demons. And so they build these little cute airplanes, and they fly to this island full of demons to fight them. And as you're watching it, as a Westerner, it takes you a little while to realize, oh, this is a World War II propaganda film. The Demon Island is us, and students really respond to that film because they've, their knowledge of anime is like what came on, yesterday. Whatever TV show they're watching right now, they don't really know the history. So I'm pretty well versed in the period ranging from like Akira through Ghost in the Shell, Ninja Scroll, Vampire Hunter D, those kinds of like touchstones. I really love a film called Unico and its sequel Unico in the Island of Magic. It's a really spooky kids movie. I'm not super well versed in a lot of the episodic television, Dragon Ball Z. I was not a big pothead in college, so I didn't watch Dragon Ball Z or Sailor Moon or any of that sort of thing. And I'm pretty up on most Studio Ghibli stuff. I love making students watch Grave of the Fireflies and weep in front of each other. So I'm not an expert on anime, but I can put together a class that's like a good foundational history of anime, development of style, cultural export, and so on. Well, like I know like 20 titles really well that I like. I do like Cowboy Bebop. That's the one show. Luckily, there's only like however many episodes, so that one was easy for me to digest. I do like Cowboy Bebop. So that's my answer. It's probably the part of cinema history I am least well versed in, but I can fake it for like an intro class.
If anybody ever wanted to take any of your classes, is it possible to take those online?
Not currently at my primary institution of UNC Greensboro, but maybe, hopefully in the future. I'm looking at maybe moving soon and not being on campus, and hopefully translating some of my courses online. I know that my cult films course will be easy to transfer, and I think people would like that. So I don't know, maybe this time in 2023, ask me again next time I'm on the show, assuming I'm there, and I might have a different answer.
It's going to be much sooner than 2023.
Yeah, well, the availability of the courses, I don't know. I do teach a course for another school on environmental documentaries. Very specific course, but you see some cool stuff. Oh, wow. Someone's watching who has no heart.
Oh, man. Let's talk about something more modern. Are you staying up to date on any like modern theatrical releases recently, or any that you're super excited for?
I've been trying to. I went to see Smile. I think I might have talked about that last time I was on, or maybe not. I don't know. We saw Smile, and woof, I couldn't believe it was that guy's first feature. I thought it was really well done. Based on the trailer, I was expecting something else, but it was a really intense portrait, not just of what someone goes through who's got this trauma hanging over, but what the people who take care of the person with the trauma have to go through.
Right.
I definitely resonated with the ex-boyfriend character. I won't say anything else for people who haven't seen it. The only other thing I've seen in the theater this past month was The Lost Boys was shown. A Fathom event. But it was great. I'd never seen it in the big screen, and I loved it. So staying up on new stuff is hard. It's hard.
Ice wants to know, have we seen the trailer for the Wong Kar-wai TV show? I have not.
Oh.
It is connected to In the Mood for Love in 2046. Terry, I've heard that Bones and All is incredible. It premiered at, I believe, Fantastic Fest and got some pretty rave reviews from some people I trust, usually. Have you gotten a chance to see Barbarian yet?
Oh my gosh, I was going to, and then I didn't get to. And now it's out of theaters in my town, so I have to wait for streaming. I've managed...
Well, it's on HBO Max now.
I don't have HBO Max anymore. It used to be part of my perk for living on campus, but then Discovery Plus, yet another tragedy of Discovery Plus is they cancel all their contracts with college campuses. So we lost it. I was on the last episode of season 3 of Harley Quinn. Didn't get to see it. I'm lost at sea.
That's too bad.
Yeah, I really want to see Barbarian. It's been really hard not to find out anything about it. So far, I know absolutely nothing, and I want to keep it that way until, I guess I have to wait for a Blu-ray if it's only on HBO Max.
Yeah, I'm curious when that comes. I think they just recorded the commentary for it, which seems a little late for that if it was going to have a very quick Blu-ray release. So we'll see. We haven't gotten any sort of release date on that yet.
Well, let me ask: are you able to keep up with new releases? With the kind of collection?
Generally, no. This year I've done a better job of it because I've missed the theater so much. I've been kind of forcing myself to go back. So I've seen The Black Phone in theater. I've seen Terrifier 2, Barbarian, Smile. I went and did that 8-film Nightmare on Elm Street marathon day.
Jealous of that.
I know I've seen one or two others this year. Oh, I saw Everything Everywhere All at Once in theaters. Usually no. And not to mention, my sensibilities tend to lean more towards the not super old films or like classics, but more like 40-year-old films. I really feel at home there anyways.
Yeah, I do tend to do that. You know, my oldest daughter made me take her to see every Marvel movie. So we did see Doctor Strange, the Sam Raimi Doctor Strange, in the theater. And there were some moments that were definitely Sam Raimi, and then there was the rest of it.
Yep.
And I don't like that. I don't want to support the big superhero movies in the theater. I want to support the Barbarians and the Smiles and the everything, everywhere all at once movies. But yeah, I can't get out. I want to.
I also do go to all the MCU films, and a buddy of mine, it's just kind of a tradition at this point. We always go first or second weekend, and we get Thai food beforehand, and
that sounds like
it's just a fun hangout night.
Yeah. I mean, once you see a certain number of them, you've got a critical mass where like the next one comes out, and it's like, okay, well,
you gotta go, yeah.
Although I gotta say, go ahead.
I was just gonna say, if you've seen 28 films, like why stop there and not the 29th one?
I got to tell you, though, my daughter and I were shocked at how much we disliked Thor, Love, and Thunder. It was just a mess.
I didn't actively dislike it, but man, was it huge as far as a step down from Ragnarok.
Yeah, and I am so sick of villains being talked out of it. What are you a superhero for if you're just going to put them through talk therapy at the end anyway? Just
Well, the big one that pissed me off with that one, his name was the God Butcher, and
Yeah.
not once did you get to see him butcher any gods. He stabbed one person in the first 5 minutes, and that was
by
it.
accident. By accident.
Right. Come on.
Yeah. That was a real shame. I read somewhere that Christian Bale had kind of pushed it into R-rated territory with part of his performance, but that it was always understood that stuff would be cut out. Still, you butch one god.
Exactly.
You know?
I would have loved like a 5-minute montage in the middle of him, just a whole bunch of killing scenes and him going crazy with I mean, you could even get a couple cameos in there, some really famous people just getting straight slaughtered, and it would have been amazing.
I thought that's what the whole point of the setup with the Greek gods and Zeus and all that, and them not seriously. I thought that was going to be a setup for him to come and kill them all.
Interrupt it, yeah.
Yeah, what the hell? So very disappointing trip to the theater for that one.
But I gotta admit, Black Panther, the Wakanda Forever, looks really good.
Gonna see it. I was obsessed with comics between the years 1987 and 1993. Very specifically, like every comic that came out in that time, Marvel or DC, I pretty much read. And inexplicably, I liked Namor the Submariner, even though in the comics it was kind of ridiculous with those little feet wings and stuff. So I'm really excited to see what they do with the Namor character. The trailer looks cool. You know, yeah, nostalgia is really what draws me to these movies. But
you had to have really loved the X-Men then.
Oh yeah, I subscribed to that. And the era was when they were like in Australia, and they had the guy with the bull roar that teleported them. And I remember there was one. I remember the first appearance of Jubilee was like the women of the X-Men went through a portal to go shopping at a mall, and that's how Jubilee followed them back. Oh wow, really? Oh, we'll have to talk about some geeky stuff. All that being said, though, I don't think my two favorite superhero movies will ever change: Punisher Warzone and The Punisher with Dolph Lundgren. Those are the two best superhero movies, and I will fight for those.
I didn't think I was going to let any of mine fall, but then Spider-Man Into the Spider-Verse kind of toppled everything for me. That movie is incredible.
That was really good. Yeah. All right, number 3. I'll put that number 3.
Yes. Well, any other questions for Will?
I fully expect
Ice is going to have something.
Oh, okay. That's good. I fully expected
this to be Punisher fan.
2 a.m., so.
Yeah, I completely did too, and yet here we are.
I think I thought there were going to be more announcements somehow. Or maybe it was just there were so many that I didn't know anything about.
Not a lot of Hooper tonight. Ice says, I highly suggest you read Garth Ennis' different runs on Punisher.
All right. So the era that I read comics, I remember that was the era that had the Punisher Warzone team up of Wolverine and the Punisher. Which oh god damn it, Stan, it's almost done. Well, I did finish the Wes Craven essay on The Hills Have Eyes Part 2. The one that I have not finished is on his television films, and it is so close. I just need to. Oh, okay, cool. Yeah, I'll check that out. Now I got Wes Craven on one side and the Punisher on the other. I'm totally going to finish this essay by tomorrow.
Flickering Wave says, scanning the release calendar for the rest of 2022. Glass Onion, Women Talking, and The Fablemans are ones that I hope to catch in theaters, but probably missing a few.
Yeah.
Glass Onion looks really good, and I'm curious about The Fablemans for sure.
I'll be happy to see anything.
Is that behind Will a puppet from Nightmare Weekend, or is this terrible cold making me see things?
Which
Oh, it looks like on, I believe it would be your right shoulder. Yeah. The
left shoulder.
White head. Okay, left shoulder. White head, red, purple body.
Okay. So maybe some other time I'll take the camera around this office. So this is my office where students come to talk to me about their work and problems that they're having. And one thing that they notice very slowly sitting in here is that in every nook and cranny all over the place, there are clowns. There are clowns everywhere. So you see in this bookcase here, there's clowns kind of stuffed everywhere. So if you go 360 around this office, there's clowns everywhere. And this is a clown that one of my student staff members crocheted for me and gave
Very
to me.
nice.
I think it's got some souls in it. So yeah, I've got hella clowns in here.
That's awesome.
So many clowns. It really creeps people out.
All right. Cool. With the changeling ball in there.
That's a changeling ball. Nice eye. Yeah. Thank you, Severin.
Stan says, "How about Lucky McKee's Old Man? Have you seen it?"
No, I really want to. I do like Lucky McKee, despite all cheerleaders must die, which I do not care for. But I do like Lucky McKee, and I'm excited to see Old Man.
Yeah, I've not seen it yet either.
Is that streaming? Where is it?
I don't think so.
Okay. All
right, friends.
Yeah.
We start to be meandering for too long, and I want to make sure that everybody is engaged. So,
talk about
Will and I would like to say thank you for hanging out and letting us be a part of your Thursday night. Thanks for hanging out with us and checking out all the new releases. Thanks for hanging out for what's coming out next week and talking about Will's Clowns. We appreciate every single one of you. And as I always say, thank you to all of the patrons who keep this going. If you are interested, this is always open in the description below. We have a really great community of people that come together, discuss films. In our Discord, we've got a monthly giveaway where I send people a crap ton of movies every single month. So if you are into it, check out the link below. I will see you next time. And we wanted to say from two collectors to all of you, have a good night, everybody. We'll see you next time.